Okay, so here's the carcass, and the only big piece of meat left is the back straps. And John's about to take those out. Now the back straps sit on an L caused by the spine running down.
A ridge.
A ridge. And then there's the rib cage that goes off to either side. And it's essentially an L. So you want to put your knife as close to the spine as possible.
And actually the back strap goes all the way up into the neck.
But it's not as tender up on that end.
It's tender up there, but it's easy to start
But it's tender enough.
It's easy, and you can feel the ridge of the spine with the point of a flexible knife. And then you get down to here, and again, you run into this bone on the front of the pelvis, the front of the pelvis. And that's where you end.
Okay, and then what I like to do is lay my knife along the rib cage and cut there second, and then just lift and separate as I go down. And John likes to go from the top. So
I can go do it either way.
Yeah.
It's
a lot easier to do it if you're on a table where you get it up higher, to do it from the rib cage up, but that's not where we are, so. So you just taking the meat that's loose, stretching it, and then using it as a handle to get the rest of the meat out. And I'm kind of bracing it with my foot down here, but not well enough.
I've got it with my leg.
Yeah. So it doesn't roll so much. It's a nice tenderloin on that deer.
Well, some people call it the tenderloin, some people call it the backstrap.
Yes. And we often call it
the overstrap.
And what's underneath in the carcass, the understrap. Anyway. Then you do the same thing with the other side. And obviously John's placing that meat on a clean piece of plastic. And he's going to do the same to the other side.
Now, you can make traditional chops, bone-in chops out of this section, too.
Well, not with CWD.
No, not with the possibility of CWD.
The thing is, you can do it with antelope, because so far nobody's found
it doesn't affect
CWD in antelope.
It's only antler.
But I don't know, we've always just taken the back straps in one piece rather than do chops.
Well, I did chops for a while when we were first married.
Yeah. But we only had one freezer, and we both were hunting pretty soon after we got married.
Yeah, and actually what happened somehow in the past since we got married, is that a lot of people think chops are just the backstrap sliced into little steaks.
Yeah, we had them done that way one time by a professional butcher.
Yeah.
We wanted the bones in, and they just made little medallions.
Yeah, which is okay, but a lot of people like the bone-in pork chops, because you can chew on the bone.
But I would not do that if you have possibility of CWD.
No.
Please.
It's pretty easy to do them, to make them, and I've done it a lot. You just use generally use a heavy-duty cleaver.
And the chop is you're taking the backbone and the rib and leaving it attached to the meat.
The traditional way is to split the backbone lengthwise with a saw. Well, the carcass is hanging. That's how they do it. And then you have a chop on each side with a rib attached.
But that's exactly what they don't want you to do anymore with CWD.
Yeah.
Okay, let's turn that a little bit. There we go. Now you can see better. There's still a few bits and pieces of meat we're going to get off this carcass, and we're going to cover it up with a tarp so it doesn't dry out as much till we get to it. But first we're going to take these cuts in the house and put them in the freezer. So there it is. You can see John did a really good job getting that tenderloin off of there, or the backstrap, whatever you call it.
Well,
he's going to come down and get what's under here too.
Yeah,
in a little bit.
But
that'll be the same routine.
Yeah, this is where this is the front of the pelvis, so you can't just go all the way down there without hitting this heavy bone.
Yeah, it comes out right there. And as most people know, the backstrap goes up to that bone, and then underneath the carcass inside is where the tenderloins are beyond that bone, pretty much. So that's the 5 pieces of meat. You've got your 2 hindquarters, 2 front quarters, and the tenderloin, and backstrap 6 pieces. Okay, thank you very much for watching the video.